Welcome everybody to round 1 of Star-Crossed Cup 4. Finally, the check-in process is over, the brackets are posted, and the event is live and underway. And after a vote, the viewers have chosen that we are going to be watching Antilles versus Hector, our number 27 seed versus our number 35 or something like that seed. So pretty close match. Antilles, of course, participated many times in Star-Crossed Kings and Star-Crossed Cup in the past. So even though he's a lower seed than Hector due to his leaderboard ranks, he's, I think, got a lot more tournament and competitive play experience because he's been in my events more times than I can even remember. Nice opening here from Antilles. Ooh, his opponent just went straight for the cutoff house and is now engaging at close range against rear echelons. Not a very good choice there by Hector. He's going to take 2 losses on his Sturms right off the bat. This is pretty much the only scenario in which rear echelon troops can get vet 1 in the first minute of the game and trade well against Sturm Pios, so that was really well timed for Antilles there. He's going to continue wiring off his cutoff over here, and so it's Antilles U.S. forces here in game 1. This is a best of 3 for round 1. Antilles U.S. forces versus Hector's Oberkommando West. He goes with an extra squad of rear echelon troops, sending them left to cap. They'll get a couple sectors under control before being chased off by Volksgrenadiers. And then over here on the right side, actually he's going to go straight for the cutoff with his riflemen. Try and shut his opponent's economy down before it even starts. Second squad of riflemen coming out of the base. Looks like it's also going to be heading left, so he may be reacting to his opponent's movements, try and get very aggressive very early, box him in.
Americans are making a push.
And Hector with Oberkommando West has access to breakthrough, scavenge, and fortifications. So far, just going with 3 Volksgrenadiers, no Kugelwagen. So just infantry for both sides, with the Antilles getting 1 extra squad of rear echelon troops. Sturm Pios looking for a flanking opportunity, managed to get into quite close range against this rifle squad. Trying to chase them down, doing good damage while chasing. Volksgrenadiers moving up to absorb some damage here too for the Sturm Pios. Second squad of riflemen available to support over here on the left in yellow cover. He's going to keep kiting with this squad of riflemen, try and focus fire the Sturm Pios down. Looks like he should take this engagement. Sturm Pios going down quick. He even retreats that squad a little on the early side, so they wouldn't take any further manpower bleed there. They have very little health left, but 3 models still up, so probably good retreat timing. Sturm Pios also get out of that engagement before taking any further losses. So Antilles is going to take this engagement. Volksgrenadiers are going to have to get out of there. Meanwhile, right, Hector managing another engagement, trying to get the right half of the map under his control. He should have no problem doing that. Throwing up a sandbag position on the fuel and chasing off these wounded rear echelon troops with the other squad. So he manages to delay Antilles' capture of the fuel point left with what squads he has over there and take control of the right with superior numbers. Antilles up to a 3rd squad of riflemen now, and I expect him to go lieutenant. Yes, he will. Lieutenant in production, so we may see a pretty standard 3 rifle M20 rush from him.
Capture point is being overrun.
Volksgrenadiers first retreat there. 2 squads of riflemen overwhelm this position and start capture of the right side fuel point. Sturm Pios trying to work on the left side cutoff solo. You catch these riflemen at close range. Antilles is also doing a good job of capping with these wounded rear echelon squads, by the way. He doesn't even reinforce them, just runs them around the map, wounded to get territory under control. I always like pointing out when players do that because it's a really good way to preserve manpower and keep the squad useful. In the early game, it becomes much more dangerous in the mid and late game to do this because vehicles like scout cars and such come out on the field that can wipe you on retreat. So the early game is the best time to try and take advantage of that potential. Incendiary grenade burns a rifleman to death right there, and they're simply going to retreat. So Hector maintains control of the right side fuel And he's getting quick ISG, which is quite standard for Over Commando West. You pretty much always see this these days. ISG coming on the field. Relic actually had an official stream just yesterday where they posted some notes for the balance patch that's coming this month, and I think the ISG is receiving quite a few nerfs, so people playing in this tournament are going to have to enjoy it while it lasts.
Back at full.
There's the lieutenant, and I was wrong. He's not rushing at M20. He went straight for AA half-track, maybe because of how good his fuel control has been so far. Ooh, incendiary grenade, late reaction.
Ready for orders.
Takes minor casualties. ISG working on the lieutenant in the house. Sternpio trying to hold the line right here. As long as Antilles doesn't force Hector out of this building, which sees control of it with overwhelming numbers, pushing him, I think he should be able to hold right here. Antilles is going to try and take the fuel and munitions, I guess. Also looking for an opportunity against the ISG, but only with a 3-man rifle squad. Raketenwerfer out. Good timing on that because the AA half-track's about to get here. And if he didn't have that Raketenwerfer out, he would have no way of countering this. Puts it in camo, tries to find a line, but it drives straight perfectly behind this hedge. Raketenwerfer gets caught just a little bit out of position, has to move a little bit. Stern Pioneers pinned by the autocannon fire. Actually, by the machine gun. I don't know if the autocannon even does suppression. And the ISG is cleared, so there's no way for Hector to force the lieutenant out of this building. There's no forward retreat point unlocked on the battle group either, so Antilles has Hector up against the ropes. If I could use a boxing term, I'm sure Amy will appreciate that. Up against the ropes. That's a boxing thing, right? And Antilles is going double AA half-track, which is kind of old school. Old school aggressive build. You know, Momo pretty much always, he hasn't even checked in, but if I could, he's a streamer that a lot of you probably know, plays a lot of USF. He has a tendency to go M20 straight into AA half-track, so if he goes 2 light vehicles, Antilles going 2 AA half-tracks though, no M20. It's going to give him a lot of firepower, and I think it's going to work based on what I've seen so far. Unless Hector can find a way to manage the threat of these light vehicles. So far, he's only got 1 Raketenwerfer out, and he's spent enough munitions on incendiary grenades that he just can't afford a Panzerschreck right now. But nothing he has been wiped, so at least he's got that going for him. If we check kills, quite even, actually. So manpower might not be his biggest concern, but territory certainly is. He has to try and spend manpower on vehicle counters now. But he's actually going to get a second ISG. I think second Raketenwerfer would serve him better. Antilles just bought a lot of weapons. Got BAR upgrades in the base, and he's about to come back onto the front line with who knows how many BARs. This could seal the game. 2 light vehicles pushing with this army of infantry. He's probably going to need some miracle ISG hits to survive this assault. Lucky pickup right there. Antilles is not monitoring his minesweeper. Gets wiped on retreat. Here come the AA half-tracks moving around the left flank. Start doing damage with autocannons to the battle group headquarters. This blob of riflemen goes in on the Sternpios. 1 squad on the right side, walking straight past those Folks Grenadiers, taking minor damage because he doesn't want to hold still and take ISG fire if he can avoid it. Trying to focus this one down. Meanwhile, over here, Sternpios retreating. Battle group headquarters is taking tons of damage from autocannon fire, and the blob just walks right up and starts putting pressure on all these team weapons. 1 squad staying behind to capture this sector. ISG in the base doing what it can, but the battle group headquarters is down. And Antilles is about to seize control of literally the entire map.
Americans have cut our supply line. Our resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain.
A half-track gets a little too close to the base guns, pulling back for repairs. Hector has been completely pushed off the field, taking heavy losses. Second Rakettenwerfer in production. Antilles couldn't quite destroy this, so that can be recrewed. Again, as far as manpower, Hector isn't that far behind, but he has been totally shoved off the map, and Antilles will have the luxury of any tech he desires. Here comes a counterattack. Volk's Grenadiers, fully reinforced, trying to make their way out of the base, will be bled by BAR riflemen holed up in this building. After taking a little too much damage, Antilles wants a soft retreat towards an ambulance, which is on its way.
Mission accomplished. We are back to combat strike. Point secure. Maintain the position. Now stand at 300 points.
AA half-track's fully repaired. We'll move to rebuke this push. It's a fun word. Rebuke. But only briefly reveals himself. He saw the Rakettenwerfer coming, so he's kind of allowing Hector to take a little bit of territory back. He also dedicates one squad to harassment to the left. Rakettenwerfer sets up, lands one shot. Second Rakettenwerfer's in the back. Nice placement. We should be able to pick this half-track up. There it goes. Half-track destroyed. This one is going to continue trying to flank, with this Rakettenwerfer pinned. And infantry moving up to support. I think Hector has lost this engagement. He needs to get out. Volk's Grenadiers get wiped. That's Antilles' first wipe of the game. And everything is forced to make a full retreat, so Antilles maintains total and absolute control of the game. But wow, 8 CPs already. It doesn't even feel like the game's been going that long, but an Ostwind is on the field. This is Hector's solution to the remaining AA half-track and all of Antilles' infantry. Antilles trying to take advantage of his huge map control rushed Major. And we'll actually have a small window where he has no tank to counter this. This is Hector's only opportunity to get some map control back and maybe pick up some wipes, maybe take out that light vehicle. He needs to make very good use of that Ostwind as quickly as he can.
Americans are making a push. Enemy flank!
And that is, of course, Scavenge Doctrine locked in. He hasn't fielded any Jaeger light infantry because he's not had the manpower for that. He's got some big opportunities here. Finds the AA half-track. That should go down if he can pick up the ambulance and maybe also some infantry. That would be huge. Antilles, not wanting to wait for a Sherman, just called Armor Company, called in an M10 as an emergency measure. Probably the right play. So, good reaction by Antilles, but he's going to lose both of these light vehicles either way. Ostwind trying to retreat to the cover of the two Rakettenwerfers, but I think it might be too late. Rakettenwerfers setting up. One is not facing quite the right direction, I don't think. Only one Rakettenwerfer fires. The Ostwind goes down. M10 is now just going to try and circle strafe these while infantry support is on its way. The riflemen clear these guns, M10 will be home free. And there it goes, making its escape. Nicely done by Antilles, getting his M10 to safety with those supporting riflemen, retreating immediately thereafter from the incendiary grenade toss. He's also taking control of all territory here on the right, and Jaeger light infantry just got deployed out of this house. Antilles was forced to go M10 instead of Sherman, so he no longer has really a counter to his opponent's infantry that he would have had if he had gotten a Sherman out. He's just going to have to try and use the M10 to make crush maneuvers, but he does have a hard counter to the Ostwind on the field. So that will dissuade Hector from purchasing another one of those.
Commander abilities ready. Our gun crew has been lost. Grenadiers back to full strength. Cover as you
M10 fully repaired, right? This is the same ambulance, right? He didn't get a fresh one. So the Ostwind failed to take out the ambulance. The only thing it killed was the AA half-track, which is not a very good trade. Definitely needed to try and take out more while he had the opportunity. Probably wasn't expecting his opponent to go armor company. And that's going to be the game. Hector knows that his Ostwind was his only chance to recover this. All of his team weapons are going to fall. Full force of riflemen making its way left to completely shove him back off the map again. Probably set up a triple cap and finish the game. So Antilles, with a pretty impressive performance there in Game 1, takes it with 500 VP victory. And I know that U.S. Forces is his main faction, so I'm curious to see how he's going to perform going into Game 2. I wonder if Hector can dish out what he just received. GG. Antilles wins.